Hey everybody, Erica here. This is week 6 or video 6 of Journey to My Masters. This week we will be speaking about diverse stakeholder engagement. Yes, my computer is behind you because I recorded this on my laptop and my laptop didn't save the video. So here we are once again. Oh my gosh. Anyways, let's get into it. So a quote that is going to ground us in what I'm going to be talking about is successful collaboration efforts effectively and authentically engage a diverse group of stakeholders. The engagement and support of different constituencies is a critical part of the PBL case study and the Health Leadership Fellows Program, which brings clinicians, nonprofit staff, and people from government and academics together to benefit from diverse perspectives to leverage the resources of different agencies and institutions. The case studies in this report highlight the importance of getting all the right eyes on the problem and the benefits of a multi-group perspective. Leadership programs that recruit a diverse group of participants can serve as containers in which people with very different perspectives learn to have difficult conversations, understand different perspectives, and build trust. The competencies of collaborative leadership described in Case Study 1, for example, address power and foster adaptive leadership to help diverse groups effectively work together. So now you're like, boo, I get it. But, we're talking about diversity within the stakeholders. So let's go in a little bit deeper. So when I was reading all the assigned readings, the first thing I thought of, because if you know my brain, you know that I love a media reference. Like, love it, because for me, it's just like life imitates art so much. Yeah, I'm sitting on my foam roller. So that was that noise. So the first media reference I thought of was Paradise with my guy, because I've been watching him since circa 2010. So that's like 16 years, from Army Wives. Sterling K. Brown. That's my guy. So there was a part in the show. Oh, spoiler alert. So if you haven't watched Paradise, speed through the next 2 minutes. I'm probably about to go on a little discourse here. So flow with me. So in that show, there's a scene where he meets this guy who used to be a mailman, and the mailman explains his relationship with his former friend that he murdered. Can I say that word? No, I can't. That he harmed, and his friend that is no longer living came up with a group that he assigned different, or he needed, let me back up. He recruited a diverse group of people to survive this apocalypse, because if you watch the show, you know that the state of the world is different due to a huge weather occurrence, weather event. And I was just like, I like that. Don't necessarily like in the apocalypse type of form, but I like the fact that that's how he gauged his people. Typically, when you think of like a board, a good board, it's going to be diverse, skilled people to help manage and keep the nonprofit afloat. And again, currently and pretty much predictably, MATRI, my Black maternal health app, will not be a nonprofit. It'll be a for-profit. But for my for-profit, or for my nonprofit, I will do that. But going back to my for-profit, I was like, okay, I still need that though, as with people who I recruit to be a part of MATRI, to be a part of its vision, so it can really be longevity. The reason why you have such a diverse group of people together is for longevity. You have a nurse, you need an engineer, you need a lawyer, definitely need a lawyer, you need a finance person, you need, I like handymen or handywomen. I like somebody who is handy. Hey, fix this. It's like one of the best things ever. So that really stuck out to me, and I'm going to probably have a dream about that tonight. Hopefully not the apocalypse version. So next thing, in our assigned reading in Emergent Strategy, so she talks about, Adrienne Brown, talks about individual or collective reflection. And she says she recommends that any group of people working together over time schedule regular time for reflecting and evaluating the work being done, harvesting the lessons and applying them to future iterations of the work. It's called Flow in Toolbox, and quite frankly, I don't think that flows. No pun intended. It just wasn't a very smooth title, but I'm not going to dog her for that because I get it. I love how she writes because it's very scholarly, but without the boring flatness of scholarly writing, if you know what I mean. Like, she has personality in her writing. And how she described to do this was list the topics that need discussion. She will do that. And then for each section, she has the participants. So my team in MATRI will write, reflect, or draw their thoughts on a blank sheet of paper. And I was like, okay, let me pull back. I'm trying to be environmentally friendly. And there's these things called Jamboards where you scan the QR code and everybody types what their thoughts are about whatever prompt or question. And after a certain time period, the board has all of these phrases and words in different colors and different sizes. The bigger the size of the word, the more prominent or popular that thought process or statement was. The smaller probably wasn't that popular. So I was like, maybe I'll do it that way, so I can also keep it and then share it like in a newsletter, or like, hey, based on our last meetings, this is where we were. Let's see where we are now. A beautiful like comparison. I feel like it would be much more beneficial and organized to do it that way. But I did like how she brought that to my attention. So another article by Pastor, Ito, and Perez. It's called "There's Something Happening Here: A Look at the California Endowment's Building Healthy Homes Initiative." So they utilize the position of a storyteller, not an evaluator, to figure out how to do what's needed for these healthy homes. And I, as a researcher, I did that for MATRI. And when I was in the moment, I didn't realize I was doing that. But as they were talking about it and listing out like how they like their methods, and I was like, oh, that's actually what I did. Because, sometimes when you're in it, you're just hyper focused. Like, I'm in it. As a young kid say, I'm locked in. And I was locked in. So I realized, in comparison to what they were talking about in the article, that in doing it that way, you are not being over your participants or research, who you're researching or what you're researching. You're kind of in it with them. And for me, on paper, how it comes out, and how I was reading with that article was, it came in a form of humility. Coming as a storyteller comes more humble, because I thought, since my MATRI research for this program, I needed African American people, speak English, over 18, a couple other qualifications. And again, because of the Black maternal health crisis, I'm increasing vitality. My thought process was, I'm just going to have African American people. But we are not a monolith. Even in the African diaspora, no way we're a monolith. So for me, it was very humbling and a reminder and beautiful to see how vast where we come from, like our vast differences. I had many of my participants have accents. So I had some people from Kenya, some people that are Haitian Creole, some people that were, I don't think I had anybody that was Afro-Caribbean, but all of those are part of the African diaspora because of history. Read a book if you don't know. But I found that very beautiful and very humbling, and I really like that they reminded me of how I did it and being grounded in that way. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the Community Toolbox Coalition starting a coalition. So definition or a reminder, coalitions may be loose associations in which members work for a short time to achieve a specific goal and then disband. I was like, disband? Why would I disband? Black maternal health is like forever. Black moms will always give birth. BIPOC moms will always be giving, BIPOC pregnant people will always be giving birth. So why? But every cause doesn't need to go on forever. Like, let's save the school. The school is saved. I guess we can move on. Okay. I was like, you know what? Let me take a step back. Maybe that makes a little bit of sense. So the barrier part is what stuck out to me the most. And this is what I talked to my friend about, because I'm a part of her coalition. I'm a part of her coalition. I was going to name it, but I was like, let me not name it. I'm part of her coalition. And we spoke about this. And in the article, the Community Toolbox, they talked about turf issues. And some people or organizations are reluctant to share their resources. And I was like, that is so true. It doesn't feel good when we can't come together. So my friend and I were having a brainstorming session as I was telling her about what we're reading about for this week. And I was like, well, how can we negate this? How can we go around? How can we alleviate it? How can we resolve it? What can we do? And she said something so powerful to me. And it was to mainly set the intention when you're meeting these people that we don't have to like each other. But we don't need to harm each other either. And I was like, ooh, say that. We don't need to harm each other. It's very common in many communities where there's haters or like shade thrown. But if we're all in it for the same reason, shouldn't we have humility and just operate with our strengths in that space without competition? Because if we win, everybody wins. Her and I have an understanding of that and have a shared belief of that. But it's the other people who may feel differently or don't exhibit that. That's where the issue is. We'll see. So that's all for this week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.